everyone. Welcome back to JB's Budget Collecting. And once again, our whatever report is a whatever report because I wasn't home this weekend and I'm home now. So I thought, we'll do it on a Monday night and kind of check in, see how everybody's doing, and just hang out a little bit on a Monday. We had GT Key in here tailgating, and Ruli was also tailgating. We see if they come back here in a minute. But yeah, so family time is usually, my dad's birthday is this weekend, so we usually kind of skip the 4th, let all the other yahoos do their thing. No offense if you're one of those people that loves the 4th, but yeah, we kind of just avoid that and get together and do our thing the weekend after, because that's kind of been a long-term tradition for us. So seems to work out pretty well for us generally. And yeah, so hanging out tonight. If you saw my thumbnail, I did get to see Thor Love and Thunder not till today after I got home. We actually did go to a movie as a family, which is like first time that I can remember in forever that all of us went, including my folks. But it wasn't Thor. We went and saw Minions. So because my niece and nephew and my parents, they were all about Minions. So there you go. So we went and saw Minions, which was fun. It was entertaining. So I think the Minions are fairly funny. So yeah, that worked out okay. But I did get to see Thor. We will talk about that later in the show. I will do my Thor review. But it's clear to me at this point that I have different tastes than most of the rest, the least allowed people on the internet. So that's for sure. I got a couple people that finally have showed up, so that's good. You'd have guessed Minions, yeah. Like, so yeah, my mother was very excited to go. My mother and both my mom and dad love the Minions, and then my niece and nephew, of course. So yeah, we went as a family with the whole crew went to see a movie, and it was Minions. So, but I did, like I said, I did manage to sneak out too, because I stayed up there through this morning, hanging out with them. My sister and them aren't going back north till tomorrow. So I stayed, so I took the day off too. I took a 4-day weekend. So I got home and ran to the theater here this afternoon and saw Thor and Love and Thunder. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. We are sipping a little bit of whiskey tonight. I got a new, I had to get me a little Mizzou rocks glass. This is a new bourbon. We have the 6 different ones I've tried now. I think that's right. 6. We've tried Woodford. We've tried Wild Turkey. We've tried Knott Creek. We've tried Buffalo Trace. We've tried Elijah Craig. I did not take a bourbon with me when I went to my folks. Instead, I went and got one. And I got my first Four Roses product. I got their single barrel. That Q5 48-3L as the warehouse and barrel. I have to say, this is maybe my favorite so far. I haven't done a tasting back and forth or anything like that, but this bottle is good. I will say, this bottle is really good. So I've been very happy with it. Bronze Page asking, are you a Steve Carell fan? I'm not a huge Steve Carell fan. I'm not necessarily going to go see something. Hey, Bronze Page, by the way, just because he's in it. But I usually enjoy Steve Carell. I enjoy The Office. I enjoy 40-Year-Old Virgin. And I've enjoyed all the Despicable Me Minions stuff. I think we've watched them all. Some of them I even watched. I don't know. The first ones are out long enough ago. I think I even watched it before my niece and nephew were around. And my parents have loved the little Minion dudes from the beginning, Kevin and Stuart and Bob, And so yeah, it's fun. It's exactly what it should be, which was so from that perspective. But yeah, wasn't really planning to give a full Minions review. But yeah, that's what we did yesterday. We went and saw that. Dre, what is going on? How are you? Hope you're having a good Monday evening. I hope you had a good weekend. Yeah, so what else is going on? Like I said, not a whole lot. No books came in this week. We're on an off week for my Midtown deliveries, so no new books, no new comics in general. For the record, I know there's been a lot of crap thrown at us and Vanderbilt. Oh, they'll kick Mizzou and Vanderbilt out. If you look at the standings, we are thoroughly, over the last decade, we've been a little bit down, up and down a little bit. More recently, a little more down than we were when we first came in. If you look at the standings since we've been in the league, we are solidly a mid-pack football team. We've been to 2 conference championship games. A bunch of schools in the conference have never been. Yeah, so you guys I realize we're not traditional. You guys can take shots at us. That's fine, unruly. We have beaten Georgia a couple times. Lowly old Mizzou. Not likely to do it right now because you guys have it rolling at the moment. Not since Kirby's been there. I don't think we've beaten you. We beat you with Rick was there. But yeah, so I get it. It's fine. Take your shots. Just know that we are not a punching bag. We're not Kansas. We're not Vanderbilt. But yeah, we need to pick it up. We definitely need to pick it up for sure. So Ron saying, hey, hey, what's going on? 616, Taki, what's going on? So yeah, now basketball, which was what we were supposed to be good at when we went to the SEC. We've been terrible since we joined the conference. Terrible. I have a little faith in this new coach. I think he might be good, but we'll see. Not that anybody in the SEC cares about basketball, but they've cared a little more lately. But yeah, so background, we can talk about that for a second. You guys did vote last week, and you all voted for potential CGC books. So we got a couple of Golden Age books I might send, a couple Spider-Man, a couple Female First, a couple covers, a couple Star Wars, and then a couple way at the back. You can't even tell what they are. They were just kind of for me. So I did do a little bit, pulled some random books from my potential CGC pile. So you guys did determine the background for a little bit. So there you go. Yeah, but as far as circling back to no books coming in, I don't know when the next time a book's going to come in. I'm going to be honest. I mean, obviously, I guess every 2 weeks I have new books coming in. It's so weird. Like the market is down, and my finances are not great. Well, they're never great. Let's be real, but they're not terrible at the moment. Even with inflation and that kind of stuff. But I am just not been super motivated to try to even go out and find a deal or find some books, which is kind of weird because now's the time. If you got the money, you should probably be buying. Now, I will say I got a stack of slabs over there that I've had on a short box for a month and a half that none of which have sold, and it's like maybe I'm gonna have to try something different. That has not worked very well for me. A couple of which are Thor books, which yeah, I've missed the boat now at this point on selling those, which we'll get into that in a little bit, but almost better to hold them for a little bit and then let it bounce back a little bit after the current depression that's going on. But and thank you, Stephen M. Glad you could join us. Yeah, so a couple of Golden Age books there at the front. Hey, Chris, what is going on? So yeah, so that's kind of limited my funds a little bit. If those would move, I'd have a little more funds to do some stuff. But honestly, most of those funds would go into like sending some of this stuff to CGC. Probably is really where that money's going to go instead of buying stuff for the collection. But I don't know. I found myself very unmotivated to collect at the moment. I'm still reading, still spending a bunch of money on trades and stuff, still enjoying reading and that kind of stuff. But some of the collecting, I got to have this, I got to have that. Yeah, long term, they'll be fine. I'll be honest, they were worth as much, if not more, than they are at the moment before a lot of the movie buzz happened. And then the movie buzz pumped them a little higher. And then, like, they've actually been dropping. They've been dropping since the trailer. I mean, they've just been going, which we could get in. We're going to get into it, but I'm going to save that to a little later in the show because potentially not everybody's seen it yet, so I'll save that till later. But yeah, and so I don't know. I'm just not. I mean, there's books I definitely want, and there's books I would love to that I want to check off the list. And I do have some fun squirreled away for C2E2 coming up at the beginning of August, and I'm hoping to come home with 1 or 2 books from there, potentially. But honestly, yeah, I'm just not super motivated at the moment. I don't know why. I'm just not. So, hey, aggressively, what is going on? I don't know if it's just I've kind of reached that point where I have a lot of the stuff that was on my original list, and there's obviously stuff left, but I've been getting sucked in some other directions, and it's kind of like, is this really what I want to keep putting most of my play money toward, or do I want to do some other things? And at the moment, I'm okay with doing some other things, and that's just kind of where I'm at the moment. I'm by no means like done collecting or something, but I'm definitely like at the moment at least taking a step back, and not super motivated to even go look or search or anything. And I don't have a lot of funds that I could use right now, but I don't have no funds that I could use to go get books. So I don't know. I'm sure we all go through it. You go through the ups and downs of collecting, and yeah, it's can't be go 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 all the time. You not really wouldn't say I burned out. It's just a little bit of a step back in terms of my collecting goals at the moment, and I'm okay with that. I mean, I've had to take steps back before for in past years because of financial reasons for periods and that kind of stuff. Right now, it's not not related to finances. I can't just go out and buy whatever I want, but like, but I could be like being more active, and I'm just not. So, yes, I saw that you'd finished I didn't know you'd finished. Did I know you'd finished the Swamp Thing? I knew you'd finished the Conan. I did not know you'd finished the Swamp Thing. Really, that is awesome. Congratulations, sir. Those are 2 awesome runs to have finished. Good for you to check those off your list. Congratulations. That is awesome. Yeah, I would like to finish up a couple of runs and stuff. But I don't know, we'll get there. I'm just not in a super big hurry at the moment. What else is going on? What else is going on with you guys just right now? Any guys got any questions, any thoughts? Because yeah, this is just hanging out, and I'll get to the I mean, weird Mike Elder Dart. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. For sure. So, what else can I talk about? Let's see. I am caught up through episode 5 of Miss Marvel. I'll save that for a little bit later too. I'll save the Miss Marvel and the Thor stuff for a little bit later in the show, or maybe not. Maybe I'll run out of stuff to talk about. We'll talk about it early. I keep thinking I'm gonna have like some set aside topics that I can discuss, and like fun things to like do on this to make it more of like a podcast format. People tell me I should turn it into a podcast, and I'm like, and instead it just becomes me rambling, and I never really have a goal. High Republic 10 cover A. So now is that just every issue that you'll have a copy of, or is that be every cover of every issue, Dre? I am very curious. I am not close to having. I have every issue, and I have multiple covers for most, but I am not close to having like all of the. And I assume that wouldn't be all the store variants either, but like all the covers and stuff. I do have a bunch of them. I mean, there's a couple of actually High Republic books back there were the 2 Star Wars books I put up. But yeah, I am very interested. I'm very interested. I've kind of stalled at the moment. I'm trying to finish up my complete High Republic read. I got a couple of books left. No, okay. So you're just missing issue 10. Okay. I meant when I was thinking every cover, I was thinking of all the Marvel covers, like the A's and B's and C's and 1 in 25s and 1 in 10s, which is probably fairly reasonable to do, but like, yeah, it would still be pretty impressive. the Mad Lunchbox Kickstarter. Interesting. So yeah, I have all the comics. I have a copy of all the High Republic comics. And a couple of and several of them I have multiple covers of, but I do not have anywhere close to all the covers or even multiple covers of most of the issues. But yeah, I'm pretty all in on High Republic. So aggressively had not, so he's excited to hear about that. I forgot where I was going to go. Oh, I am trying to complete my read through of High Republic, and I keep just getting myself distracted and reading other things. And yeah, so I have not completed a read through of all the books. Mostly A and B, but a lot of variants. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Actually, like I've been super excited about High Republic. I'll be honest, High Republic is the best Star Wars thing I think they've done recently. And I actually enjoyed the Obi-Wan show, but I actually enjoy High Republic a lot. I think, to me, it succeeds some of the places where, like, some of the stuff they're done with The Mandalorian has failed. And the fact that they've jumped into the past. So we sort of know the outcome, but we don't know any of these characters except for one. Because he lives to be 900. Well, I know one character, but they've pretty much kept him to the side. I thought it's been pretty compelling. I've thought a lot of the Jedi have been interesting. They haven't been afraid to kill characters because it's the past and these characters have no history, which I am no standing with the fandom. So I've really enjoyed that. So yeah, I've been a big fan of all the High Republic stuff. I just got to finish the last of the books, and then I want to do a full like High Republic discussion at some point. I have not had a chance to read The Shadow of the Sith. I got several books in my stack that I got to get through, and I've just been lazy about doing it. Gus saying stores keep getting held up for money on rubbers. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. There's my man John, and since he is in the chat, that reminds me that a week from tonight, Comigories is back on his channel. I have a list somewhere of who's going to be on Comigories, and I do not remember who it is at the moment. So maybe John will be motivated. I think he's on vacation. What are you doing here, John? You're on vacation. But maybe he'll be motivated to put that in the chat here in a minute. But I appreciate you hanging out with me. He called shenanigans on me. I saw him do the little what animal are you over the weekend? I was like, all right. I normally don't do those, or sometimes I'll do them and they're just so bad that I'm like, I'm not even posting that. That's terrible. And so yeah, he did the little what animal are you? And he was a squirrel, and it made me laugh. And I was like, all right, I'll put up the bad one with him. I'll do the thing. And I of course was a wolf because yeah. He's a squirrel. I'm a wolf. That seems about right. So that's like the first time that I've done one of those that I actually got like a character, an animal that I was like, oh, I'm okay with that. Literally the first time. So there you go. What's going on, Planet Arizona? 140. It was 100. I came out of the movie today and my truck was like 102 or something here. It was just stupid. Oh, there's the Comigories. But not 114. JD, Tacoma, two brothers, and Southern Comic Geek. So two brothers. He's got quite a crew to defend his title against. So yeah, that should be entertaining and fun. So looking forward to that. Some point this week I'll have to work on Comigories, but we're a week out. I got all kinds of time, and then this weekend I'll be like, I gotta go with Comigories. So that's how it usually works. Let's see what else is coming up. Indie show. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we're gonna do Usagi this week. That is at least the plan. We will see if it actually happens. I never know with that show. It seems like something always comes up. And then I think actually I don't have one next week. And then the week after, we'll be back with Black Hammer, and then we'll be back with, and then we'll be kicking off Paper Girls, finally. That's been, the finally is on me on this one, because I'm the one that broke my feet on scheduling that one. So, yeah, so we'll be kicking those off, or kicking out Paper Girls, continuing Black Hammer in a couple weeks. But yeah, next week, I don't know that I have anything. I may just I don't know, maybe something and just do a read through of something on my own or something. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so those are things coming up. I should have my usual full weekend schedule next week. I think D&D is going to be back next weekend. I think should be around to do Cash or Trash. This should be on Saturday because I don't have any really thing going on next weekend. So yeah, so looking forward to all that. So yeah, I can't think of a whole lot going on. I keep saying I'm going to bring back Lex Collect. I even have a couple of them that are like mostly done that I just haven't done the hard part. Well, I've done like part of the hard part. I just haven't done. I keep saying I'm going to do more top 10s, and I just my motivation's been kind of. I said I wasn't super motivated to collect right now. I haven't been super motivated to venture beyond my standard YouTube stuff either. I'm a slacker. That's really what I'm getting at. So, all right, we're 20 minutes in. I think I'm going to go on because I'm going to spend a little bit of time. I'm going to start with Miss Marvel, I think, first. Or maybe I should start with Thor. What do you guys want me to start with? You guys want me to start with Miss Marvel spoilers, or would you prefer I start with Thor or discussion? I'm not gonna give a ton of spoilers. I think either way. So I am curious what you guys would rather hear my thoughts on. Did anybody see the pic from Webb? I don't know what you're referring to. I see the Mrs. Webb from. Oh, he's saying Miss Marvel. Planet saying Arizona. It's saying Planet saying Arizona. Planet Arizona saying Thor. Oh, I did the telescope. Yes, that was cool. That is very cool. As a kid, I still love that kind of stuff. I still love seeing some of those images and stuff. I think those are super crazy. I kind of wish I had a telescope at the moment because I would love to have. Was it the other night? I forget when it was the closest. There's that comet going through right now that you can see with a telescope, but you can't see with the naked eye. And I would love to look for that. Sometime in either the last couple days or the next couple days, sometime in this week, it's as close as it will be the best viewing for that. So if you have one, there is a comet going through right now. I do not know exactly where it is. You'd have to look it up. But if you type in like comet, you can find it Google really easily. But yeah, the image from the telescope was cool. It was very, very cool. For sure. So I only got the 2 votes. So we're going to go with the first vote, I guess. The first person to pull a vote was with Miss Marvel. So there you go. So you guys are going to hear my thoughts on Miss Marvel. It feels like forever because it was before I went to my folks and hung out with the family. Feels like it's forever ago that I watched that show. But we watched episode 5. But continues to be very solid. The family stuff, I think, for me, has been just fantastic. The villains were sort of typical Marvel, kind of lackluster. I'm very curious to see where this goes because it feels like they wrapped up a lot of it in episode 5, and now they have 6. So are the main villains of this damage control? That's my curiosity. I mean, I guess it could be Cameron. It was very interesting to me the way. Oh, that's okay. I will when I take it down. I will. Yeah, I'll let you. It'll come down here in just a minute. overall, I've really enjoyed Miss Marvel. It is definitely, I think, going to rank toward the top of my MCU shows. Um, it's the one where I feel like we've had the least amount of filler. I think it's going to be a point I'm going to make in Thor in a minute, but like of these shows that it's had the least filler. In some ways, I wish it was longer. Because I would have loved a little more background on Red Dagger. I would the group and everything and why they were tied to her, why they knew who her grandmother was, and like a lot of that I would have been super interested in because they didn't really explain that. Or great grandmother, I guess. And yeah, there was a lot there I would have loved to have gotten more from on that side of things, but overall I've just really, really enjoyed it. I feel like they've nailed a lot of and I don't think we do. I'm just curious because I was a little surprised that they wrapped up the one side of the story in episode 5. And so I'm curious, like where episode 6 is going. Is it just really, because they even also wrapped up some of the family thing because of the information mom got. Like her mom now knows. So like a lot of the drama that you would think of being wrapped up in episode 6 got completed in 5. So I'm just very curious of what the format of episode 6 is going to be. But I've really, really enjoyed the show. And you're right, you don't necessarily need a main villain. I think sometimes we get too wrapped up in that you can tell, if you're telling a good story, you're telling a good story. It doesn't necessarily need that villain side of things. There's just one left, Gus. So just this week, we will get the finale. So this is only 6 episodes. But yeah, I've just really, really enjoyed Miss Marvel. I don't know that I have a lot more to say about it. Like, I could go into some details. I'll probably save that for after the finale. But I will say, I think there were some missteps with the villain and her motivation and why she was so, like, these clandestine. That has been the one weakness, but that I feel like is a typical Marvel weakness. That a lot of her, they just didn't give us enough to really understand where to not necessarily sympathize, but just even understand her actions a little bit. And that was a little disappointing. We'll see where it goes in the finale with Cameron. But yeah, I'm just very curious. I've really enjoyed it though. Overall, I've just really enjoyed it. I feel like the family stuff, they brought it to the front. It's been the most important thing, and they stuck with it being the most important aspect of this show. And I am looking forward to the way I think they've handled it really well. Yeah, I think it's right up there. We'll see where the finale goes, but I think it's right there. For sure. I mean, it's for sure better than, for me, Moon Knight or Falcon and Winter Soldier. Probably better for me than Loki. I still think WandaVision. We're saying WandaVision used to be my favorite, and Doctor Strange kind of ruined a lot of that for me. Just because it was so out there, it was so different. Yeah, it's right there. What am I forgetting? Hawkeye, I'm forgetting. Hawkeye, I really enjoyed. But yeah, it's right there at the top, I would say. I mean, it's probably at the top of the phase 4. It's pretty close to the top of the phase 4 projects that we've gotten. Overall for me. And yeah, I'm just super happy that they've made it work, and they've made it work with a smaller story and a family story, and that really has brought the enjoyment for me. All right, so we will finish up that, and we will talk more about it probably next week after the finale. for sure. Oh, wrong thing. And we're going to move over to a little bit of Thor. All right. Thor, Love and Thunder. So, as you guys know, I am a huge fan of the Jason Aaron Thor run. The Omni Volume 1 is sitting right there, a little out of focus. That is Volume 1 of the Jason Aaron Thor Omni. I got most of the issues except for the God of Thunder stuff. And I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of Jane. I'm a huge fan of the Gore storyline. Just really enjoyed all of that stuff by Jason Aaron. So I had really high hopes. Really high hopes. And I didn't get to go watch it Thursday or Friday or Saturday or Sunday. And all I heard were, well, really from the trailer, all I've heard is people bitch. And I mean, and some of them make no sense to me going in. A bunch of bitching about too many jokes, and it's just a ha ha, and it's not even funny, and I'm like, it's Taika. What did you expect? And this is from people that I know loved Ragnarok. And my complaint always with Ragnarok was I thought it was a little too silly to be great. That I love, like, it just didn't, the tone didn't work for me throughout. Ragnarok was my favorite Thor movie, but it was not one of my favorite MCU movies mostly just because of Taika's style. I was like, eh. We had the tickets for the first showing. Particularly, there was going, oh, film star. Oh no! Oh, that sucks. So, but you didn't get to see it on Friday. That's good. Yeah, that sucks. Hey, Blue Collar Dan, what's going on? And so, all I heard though was, "This sucks. It's awful. It's terrible. It's really gory. It's stupid funny and me cringing into it, laughing at the joke and blah blah blah." So I don't know what I expected walking in today. So I've been like playing this, like you guys don't necessarily know where I'm at. And I've come to the realization, because I've had some complaints recently, and I was way over here when everybody else was over here on No Way Home, because I thought the plot was nonsensical. I thought it was just a nostalgia, like, here, let's throw Sony a bone because they're letting us use Spider-Man, so we can try to keep using him. We're going to do this nostalgia fest that makes no sense, and the plot makes no sense, and the story makes no sense, and it's a mess. And everyone loved it and ate it up, and I was like, it makes no sense. I really enjoyed Thor: Love and Thunder. That's where I'm like, I really enjoyed it. I think it's my favorite Thor movie. Which still isn't, it's still not like it's not a perfect MCU movie. Actually, it is almost a perfect MCU movie in the fact that all the MCU movies, for the most part, have flaws. Like, I mean, most of those people were bitching and moaning based off they were going to bitch and moan no matter what. Hey Lee, what's going on? Mark Spector, low expectations. Oh, this coming Friday. Oh, well, yeah, I'll try not to ruin too much. I really enjoyed it. To go back to Unruly's thing of, yeah, but you can say that almost all the time with Marvel movies. They underdevelop the villains. They just tend to. The only villains that they've really spent time with and developed are Loki and Thanos. That's it. That's the list. Go back through and think about all the other villains that we've gotten. And for the most part, they have been very underdeveloped. Overall, maybe you could argue Killmonger is probably the best one-off. Close. But yeah. I see, and yeah, and like in terms of the jokes and the humor, Did it at times like go a little too far? Yes, but that's Taika. That's what he does. Like, um, Zemo. Zemo, for me in Civil War, I didn't think that about Zemo. I will give you with the addition of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, yes. But I felt like they had to bring him back to truly like give us Zemo. No, yeah, you're a little far behind. That's right. They had time to develop them, which they haven't really taken. So I know the Gore Jane story. You're talking like 4 to 6 years of comics that Jason Aaron told those stories over. Yeah, and they crammed it into a 2-hour movie. They were always going to leave stuff that you needed to make it great. That's the nature of translating these stories to comics or these stories to movies. But I didn't think it was too funny. For me, the humor did not take me out of it as much as it did during Ragnarok. Just that's for me. I thought the humor, like, did all of them land? No, but was there enough of them that landed, and enough of it was it tone where it happened? Did I feel like it worked for the most part? Yeah. I mean, it was mostly just Mjolnir and Stormbreaker gags for the most part, and the goats a little bit. I didn't even think the goats were overused. I heard a lot of people like, "Oh, the damn goats are screaming all the time." I didn't even think that was that bad. I thought that was fine. They were about right. So here's my thing that I was going to go back to about the TV shows is we needed more gore. We needed more gore, and I agree. But here's the thing: even when we've given them 6-hour shows, I feel like a lot of those 6 hours we've got, instead of getting like crucial development of villains and stuff, a lot of times we've gotten filler, like things that don't. I don't know. They haven't proven to me that those 15 minutes would have really made a huge difference. I think 15 minutes of more of Gore hunting gods and really establishing himself as a threat, of Thor chasing him through a couple more instances before they got back to Asgard on Earth, I think would have like done a lot for Gore, personally. But I was okay with it in a 2-hour movie. You didn't sit there for 2.5. Sometimes I feel like they don't edit enough. So I hate to complain the other way, but yeah, I think 15 more minutes would have made a big difference. He doesn't really. Yeah, I thought he did fine. Yeah, I mean that's just his style, is for sure. AGTG. So let's get to just Gore. I thought what he was given, I thought no surprise here. Christian Bale was great. I know a bunch of people were just bitching about the look. I thought the look worked. I don't think the comic book look would have translated very well. We've seen the no-nose thing on Voldemort. I never thought it looked great. And I think everyone would just said Voldemort. And like the head tendrils and stuff. I've never thought those things look good in anything. When they're practical, digital, I've never thought they work very well on the screen. They look great in art. They look terrible on the screen, in my opinion. So I was perfectly fine with the way they went about his look. To me, it was more about getting the character, getting his motivation, getting his anger. And I thought Christian Bale nailed all of those. Yeah, which I don't know what they thought they were going to get with Taika directing it. You were never going to get that. I think the people that are complaining wanted the Gore storyline exclusively, which would not have involved Jane. I think they didn't want Jane. I think there's a bunch of people that were just mad that Jane got to be Thor. And so, and the twist at the end, like in how it deals with, I was okay with. I thought all of that worked. I thought Natalie Portman rocked it. Yeah, Bale looked great and killed it. I thought he looked fine. He looked fantastic. He was menacing. He was deadly. My only complaint is we didn't get to see him. I would have loved to have seen him actually see him take out more gods. That's where that another 10 or 15 minutes of him hunting gods and not just seeing the aftermath, I think would have made a big difference. But overall, I really enjoyed it. It's probably my favorite of the Phase 4. I mean, yeah, I think it's probably my favorite of the Phase 4. Yes, we've discussed this before. I love Valkyrie. I love Tessa Thompson's Valkyrie. Korg, at times, grates on me a little bit. It's a little too much at times, but overall, Korg was good. I thought they used him about right. Maybe a little much for my taste. But I thought Jane, the cancer, all of it. Why? Not just that she was worthy, but why Mjolnir called to her to begin with. Like I thought they tied that really well. Like she was always worthy, but that she needed it at that point is why Mjolnir reformed. I do think the twist from her, it trying to help her to it not helping her, that the little bit of the cancer thing, that there was a little bit that didn't work the best. Russell Crowe is, yeah. I thought that worked well. I'm not sure what I think about the post-credit casting. I won't go any deeper than that. I mean, I like that actor. I'm not 100% sure what I think about that casting yet. But I thought it was great. I thought it was well done. I thought it tied together Natalie or Jane and Thor's storyline really well. I thought it was a good build for Thor. I could have honestly, what I could have done without was the Guardians at the beginning and given me more gore, I think that would have really improved things. It's cut some of the Guardian stuff at the beginning, really weren't in the movie. I don't know, other than the fact that they had to tie up the fact that he left with them. Okay, but yeah, that was really the accent was just sort of weird. I don't even know what accent he was going for. I'll be honest. I don't know what he was going for. Again, what is going on, man? But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I don't know. I don't get the hate. I get that it's not going to be a top 5 Marvel movie for me. But I think it's probably my favorite of the Thor movies, which probably puts it around 10-ish. I mean, I would probably put it's probably a 7.580. I probably need to see it again. In that range, which is really, really good. Maybe, yeah, I guess an 8 is like a B, B minus. Yeah, B minus range. I enjoyed it thoroughly. It's almost exactly what I expected from Taika. Would I have loved more development of Gore? Yes. Would I have loved more development of Jane as Thor? Yes. But I thought it worked. I thought they handled it well. Absolutely. But I thought, so a lot of the complaints is they weren't true to the original material. And I disagree. I feel like Gore, the notes on Gore were really well, that they were right. The notes on Jane and her motivation, as well as her choices I thought were really well done. I thought Thor and his, like, we see in the comics the argument, not just from him, but everyone that loves Jane, about her continuing to pick up the hammer once they know. Like, in her choices that she continues to make. I thought all of that was really well done. So, will we get Valkyrie Jane? They certainly leave the door open with the ending, with the post-credit scene and the ending. They certainly leave the door open. They didn't go down that road. So I have the feeling it comes down to, she hasn't said no, but she hasn't said yes as of when they shot that post-credit scene. And what do they give her is really what it's going to come down to. Whether or not we get, what is the project, is whether or not we get Valkyrie Jane. I hope so. You guys know how I feel about the character. I love Jane in the comic. I mean, literally, she went from a character I had no knowledge or real interest in, reading that Jason Aaron Thor run, her as Thor, and now it's the Valkyrie stuff that's followed up. But I love Jane. She's one of my favorite characters of all time. So I'm fully admit my biases, but it was about what I expected. Maybe not. I mean, did I hope it would be slightly better than that? Maybe. Yeah, probably. Like, my hopes were a little higher than that, but it was about what I expected from Taika, which is really good, a little over the top on the humor, but well thought out and fun storytelling, great visuals. Yeah, I feel like it is a quintessential Marvel movie. Like, I'm not sure what everybody was wanting, that are bitching and moaning that it didn't give you, other than you just want to hate. Like, I felt it worked better than the dour kind of eternal thing that's come that everybody hates. Obviously, I'm just comparing it. To me, it worked better than the Doctor Strange, which really comes back to me, like, the choices they made there related to Wanda. Like I thought Doctor Strange was well put together, but the choices and the story arc didn't make sense to me following WandaVision. Like, for me, that disconnect between WandaVision storytelling and Doctor Strange storytelling really ruined both of those sort of for me. Whereas I think if there had been a better connection there, I think that would have worked better. And that's a question. I don't know. Now, obviously, in the comics, she was Thor, but then later she gets the All Weapon, which was basically the hammer from a different universe kind of thing, and ends up becoming all the Valkyries have been killed, kind of like what's happened in the MCU, except there's one left, which there was one left in the comics too, but she was hidden, or she was away, and Jane becomes kind of the new, is tasked with restarting the Valkyries and becomes a Valkyrie. So we'll see. I think she would come back if there's a really good story. If there's not a really good Valkyrie story, if there's not, then she probably won't. Well, I did my favorite female, top 10 female Marvel characters, and I was going to do more, and I just haven't gotten around to it. I need to do it at some point. That wasn't Portman. That was Jennifer Garner. It was Jennifer Garner was the Daredevil, and I hope not. Like, okay, I've talked about this before, but like, force feeding us I wanted a good Tom Holland, Peter Parker, Spider-Man story. And instead, like, that's why No Way Home, instead we got this force-fed, this old Sony stuff, some of which was good, some of which was bad, and a nonsensical thing that everyone else loved, and I didn't. Like, everyone else loved the nostalgia of it. I wanted the story to work, and it didn't for me. And So, like, I would, yeah. I let the ice melt too long on that. That's getting a little watered down. But I don't know. Overall, I'm gonna wrap up my Thor thoughts here. But overall, I enjoyed it. Here lately, I feel like it's funny. I went from being the hater guy because I was not liking some things that other people were loving to now like Obi-Wan worked for me. This worked for me, and now it's like the other way. Everybody hates it, and then how could you like it? And it's like because I did. But even when I was the hater guy, like I was just saying they weren't great. Some of the things just weren't fantastic, that they were just good. And I feel like this was really good. I don't know. I was like, I came out of it at the end and I was just like, what's the hate? Other than not enough gore, which is always the case with the Marvel movies, unless they carry them into multiple projects. None of the Marvel villains, I feel like, get a fair shake in the movie. Maybe? I think there's certainly you feel like they closed the door on it, but it's not necessarily. To me, the one that could be the sister is Keira Knightley and Natalie. Those are the two that look the most alike. But yeah, all super attractive women. Biscuits, as Unruly would say. But all right, so yeah. I mean, you never know. I will say that I would have loved to have seen more of gore. I will say that is probably my biggest complaint is that, yeah, we don't get enough. But that's a complaint I have about almost all the Marvel movies is we don't get enough of the villain. We don't get enough time. They're kind of just there. Like, I don't feel like they built him up enough as a threat. Boy, like aggressively, I think said earlier, like 10, 15 minutes of him, not even 10 or 15 minutes, like 5 minutes of a montage of him hunting some of those gods. And then Thor seeing the aftermath instead of just Thor seeing the aftermath, I think would have made that movie so much better. It would have made him an even a bigger threat that he doesn't quite, they never quite justify how big of a threat he really is. And like, I feel like that one thing would have done it. If we could have seen him mowing down some gods. I think that would have done it, but no surfer. No. Necro Sword, yes. Clearly, Necro Sword with a mind and power of its own. Everybody is unliving. They don't really show. They do show Valhalla, but they only show 2 characters that have made it to Valhalla. So you just kind of assume the others are there. There's other characters there, but yeah, we only get the knowledge of 2 characters in Valhalla. So we will see. But yeah, and I do think the Valhalla thing opens the door for more of the character that goes there at the end of the movie. But I don't know. We'll see. All right, I'm going to wrap that up. But yeah, I enjoyed the crap out of it. I thought it was, a solid entry in the MCU. I know there's a lot of people complaining that Phase 4 doesn't have a solid through line, that we're not necessarily building to something. But I feel like the through line of Phase 4 is transition. Like, we are transitioning from this huge Thanos arc that really started all the way back in Phase 1 and went through Phase 3. Thanos dominated that entire arc, all of those movies in some way or another, built toward that. And it was amazingly done. And I feel like what they're trying to do now is kind of reset the status of the MCU before they start building to the next thing. Instead of, like, because they've lost actors, because they've lost because there's a transition here. They're having to go to different characters because the actors are aging out of the roles. They're not just wanting to do it for 30 years. I mean, you think about how long it had been from when she had done Jane. When she did Jane in Dark World, none of the Jane Foster Thor stuff had been written. None of it. When she played Jane Foster in those first 2 movies, none of that existed. So you think about how long these people have been playing these roles. And yeah, they're in a major transition at the moment. And I think it'll work. This is what Strange, like visually, I feel like I need to probably give Strange a rewatch. The choice, and it really comes down to a choice of where they went with the direction of the story, just made me angry after WandaVision. And that I couldn't get past it for the rest of it. So I really needed to see it again. I think they're bringing him back as alive. So, they're bringing back Charlie Cox. They're bringing back Kingpin. My guess is he's still alive in the MCU. So we'll see. We'll see what they do there. All right, gang. We're coming up on the hour. That's all I got this week. I spent a long time on Thor. Talked a little bit about Miss Marvel. And there's a little random talking as I let my whiskey get a little waterlogged, but still got a big chunk of ice in there for my rock. Put my 1 rock in there. So with that, we will catch you guys later. I appreciate you hanging out with me on a Sunday on a Monday, and I hope you have a good week, and we will talk to you later.